Hello everyone and welcome to yet another video of question paper analysis. In the previous three videos, I have analyzed question number 1 of Forest Ranger question paper of 2023. Now this video will analyze question number 2. Question number 2 I will discuss afterwards. Before that, I let you give a brief information regarding numerical questions. As the question number 2 is numerical 1, whenever a question comes in Assam competitive examination of numericals, the question will be of 10 standard. The questions will be time and speed, percentage, decimals, errors regarding decimal points. No questions will be there of calculus or integration. So you have to keep in mind that the questions which will come of 10 standard only. So hopefully you will join me in the next analysis of question number 2. The first question of this session and the second question of the question paper of Forest Ranger is: Ravi travels for 4 hours and 30 minutes. He covers the journey at 30 kilometers per hour. What is the distance traveled by him? So firstly, you don't have to do anything. Firstly, put what is being there in the question paper. First, it is given as time 4 hours and 30 minutes. Time 4 hours and 30 minutes. Now what is given again? He covers the journey at 30 kilometers per hour. So 30 kilometer per hour, what is kilometer per hour? Speed. Speed is given 30 kilometer per hour. Now we have to find the distance of it, the distance traveled by Ravi. So when you put distance, you have to find distance. See, you have given time, speed and distance. So using this quantity, one formula comes to your mind. It is speed equal to distance traveled by time. Now first you have to analyze that this formula is of class 8 or 9 standard. You don't have to think beyond 10 standard. Everything is inside your 10 standard syllabus only. So speed equal to distance by time. So how the distance will be determined? Distance will be determined by speed multiplication by time. That is a formula which is required. Now put the values. Before putting these values, you have to understand to make the units at the same value. For example, it is hours, it's okay, hour, kilometer, minutes. You have to change minutes into hours. How to do it? See, when you go from smaller unit to higher unit or larger unit, you always divide. Smaller to larger. Where minute is there, you have to go hour, then you will divide. When you go higher unit, higher value, higher unit to smaller, then you multiply. This is the formula. If you go from smaller unit, for example, smaller unit is here is minute. You have to go higher unit. Then you have to divide. What you should divide, I will do it in the next session. And higher unit to smaller unit, you always multiply. Now what is the time? Time is given as 4 hours and 30 minutes. Now 30 minutes, 30 divided by 60. 30 divided by 60. It's hours. Why 60? because 60 minutes takes 1 hour. So it is 1 by 2. What is 1 by 2? 1 by 2 is 0.5. So we can write 4 hours 30 minutes as 4.5 hours. Getting my point? 4 hours and 30 minutes is 4.5 hours. So I am doing at a basic level of mathematics. You can still observe 4.5 hours from watching this value only, but I am going into deep analysis, so I am discussing it. Now, what was the formula? Formula was distance. We have to find speed into time. Speed is 30 kilometer per hour into time. As I mentioned, 4.5 we can write 4.5. So what is it? What is the answer to it? 135 kilometer. It is so 135 kilometer. In this way, you solve this time and speed and time questions. I will give at least 5 samples regarding this to solve these questions, and I will solve with you. One more question. It is a sample question. It is not a part of the question. It is not a part of the question paper of forest ranger, but it is a sample question which will appear in the top of your screen. Here it is written, Ravi travels for 2 hours at a 40 kilometer per hour. Then 3 hours at 30 kilometer per hour. What is the total distance traveled? So how to approach this question also? So you approach by time. Time is given 2 hours. And speed is given 40 kilometers per hour. This is a part 1 of question. Part 1. There are 2 parts given. When it says Ravi travels for 2 hours at 40 kilometers per hour, that's a part 1. And when it says then means part 2. Then 3 hours at 30 kilometers per hour, that's a part 2. Now when it says part 2, time given as 3 hours. And what is the speed? Speed is given as 30 kilometer per hour. That's a part 2. So what you have to do is find a distance. We have to find distance of this and distance of this. And again it is said as what is a total distance. Total distance means you have to calculate first distance of first part and second distance of second part, and then add up, and it will bring the total distance traveled. Part 1 where distance equal to speed into time. We already know. So I will not take main time. Speed, this is 40. Distance part 1, 80 kilometer. The distance traveled by Ravi in part 1 question, part 1 of the question is 80 kilometer, and in part 2, 3 3s are 9. D part 2. What is 3 3s are 9? 90 kilometer. This is a distance traveled by Ravi in second part, that is 90 kilometers. So what I said, what is the total distance traveled by Ravi? As I said, you have to find out the distance of part 1 and part 2, you add up. Then 80 plus 90 is 170. Is it visible? It's not visible, I guess. Yeah, it's visible. 170 kilometer is the total distance traveled by Ravi. How? You add 80 kilometer and 90 kilometer. It's 170. It is visible, yes. So what is the correct option to it? Correct option is B in the sample question 1. Now the second question of the sample question. So firstly, I like to mention that this is not a part of forest ranger question paper, but it's a sample so that it gets you practice enough to attempt such type of questions in the examination hall. The second question is, the sample second question is, a person travels 90 kilometer at 45 kilometer per hour. So write what is given. It is given as a person travels 90 kilometer. 90 kilometer, that is distance. 90 kilometer. Now it is given as at 45 kilometer per hour. 45 kilometer per hour means speed. Speed, it is given as 45 kilometer per hour. You will have a look at kilometer. We don't have to change. It is already given in the standard unit. Now then 60 kilometer at 30 kilometer per hour. Again the distance is given. Distance equal to 60 kilometer, and again speed is given 30 kilometer per hour. Speed is given 30 kilometer per hour. So you have to check again 30 kilometer hour. It's standard form. You don't have to change. Now it is given as find the total time taken. What is total time taken? You have to find total time taken. Now again, this is a part 1 of the question. From speed equal to distance by travel, a distance by time taken, we know that time equal to distance divided by speed. Time equal to distance divided by speed. So in the first part of the question, what will be the answer? Distance is 90 kilometer. What is the speed? 45 kilometer. What will be the answer? 2 hours. Why hours? Because it is given in hours only. Now in the second part, what is given? 60. Again, this time equal to distance divided by speed. What is the distance? 60 kilometer. 60 kilometer. What is the time? 30. Again is 2 hours. So this question basically is a type of 1 number question only, the sample 1 question only, but where it talks, you have to find out the time taken by each part. So 2 hours by the first part and 2 hours, what you do, what is the total time taken? When it is said as total time taken, you add up. You add up, I think, you add up what was the 2 hours, the part 1 taken 2 hours plus 2 hours, what is this? 4 hours. And what will be the correct answer to this question? Is 4 hours. What is the option? Is B, 4 hours. Now the third question. What is the third question? So let me rub it out. Now the third question, third sample questions, mind you. A train travels 120 kilometer in 2 hours. It is 7. A train travels 120 kilometer. That is distance. Distance equal to 120 kilometer. Travels 120 kilometer in 2 hours. Time equal to 2 hours. Now again it is said that 2 hours and 180 kilometer in 3 hours. Distance equal to 180 kilometer. Time equal to 3 hours. Now this is a 2-type question. A train travels 120 kilometer in 2 hours. Now you have to find what is the average speed of the whole journey. So average speed, what is the formula of average speed? Average speed is average speed equal to total distance by total time taken. Now you don't have to use formula when the speed, distance, time came. It is not necessary to use the formula speed equal to distance by time. No, you have to read what is required in the question paper. So it is required that what is speed, average speed. So this is not a time or speed question. This is a question about average. Now, what is the average? Total distance and total time. You just add up 120 plus 180 divided by 5. What is this? 300. 300 divided by 5. What is 5? 60. So what is the average speed? Average speed is 60 kilometer per hour. This is a bluff question. Bluff question means you are practicing one sort of a question and suddenly a question arrive and you don't know what to do. So this is how you train your brain, that all of a sudden it is asked average speed, which is nothing to do with the formula speed equal to distance by time taken. So the correct answer is 60. Now the question number 4, which will appear on the screen at the top of the screen, and this is a similar type of question, speed equal to distance by time. Now the question is, a man walks at 6 kilometer per hour. What is 6 kilometer per hour? You don't have to use your brain right now. Speed, write it, 6 kilometer per hour. And then what you have to write, a man walks for 6 kilometers for 1 hour and 30 minutes. What is 1 hour 30 minutes? Time is 1 hour and 30 minutes. So you see that it's hour, you have to convert this minute to hour. We will later, I will do it. But what is the basic formula asked here? How much distance he covered? Distance is required. We all know the parent formula of this question. Parent formula is speed to the distance by time. Then what will be the distance? Distance will be speed into time. Now you convert this 130 minutes, 30 minutes by 60, as you are going from smaller unit to larger unit. What is this? 1 by 3. It's 1 by 3. Is it so? Yes. Oh no, sorry, 1 by 2. Yes, 130, 60. 1 by 2. So 1.5. What is the speed? Speed is 6. 1 into 1.5. 1 hour 30 minutes can be written as 1.5 hour. Right, this may be 1.5 hour. Then 6 into 1.5 hours. So 1.5, what is this? It is 90. 90, then point. So 9 kilometer is the correct answer. So what is the correct answer? Option B is the correct answer of the question which is appears. So in this way, the first question was from the question paper series, and I have solved similar type of question paper questions so that you get practiced. And the question number 3 of the sample was a bit of a bluff. What is bluff? You are thinking about speed equal to distance by time travel. Most of the questions means 3 out of 4 questions were of similar type, but the third number question was average speed. So you train your brain like this, whatever it is writes, you write it down, all the contents, and then use the formula. Remind you, all the formulas will be of 10 standard. Thank you for watching. That is all about today's presentations. I have completed the second question, which is numerical. It always easy questions. And one more suggestions, that the getting a full mark in mathematics is always easy. The question is there, the option is there, you solve the question without seeing the options. When the question answer comes while solving, you compare with the options. Whatever options comes, it is correct answer. If the option doesn't comes, the answer doesn't come according to the options, it is wrong. So thank you for watching, appreciate it, and I will see you in the next series of videos in the question number 3 analysis. Thank you.